Welcome back to Inside College Basketball Now with Jon Rothstein. Pleased to be joined by North Carolina head coach Hubert Davis. And Hubert, welcome. It was 4 years ago on Saturday that your team had a season-changing win against Duke at Cameron Indoor Stadium in 2022. What do you remember about that game?
Wow, that was a long time ago, John. There's a lot that's happened since then. I knew that our guys were ready to play. I knew that our guys wanted to play better than they did the first matchup at the Smith Center, and that they were ready to compete. And so I knew there was a lot going on, and rightfully so. I mean, to celebrate Coach K and the impact that he's had not only at Duke but in college basketball, and him it being his last season and his last game at Cameron Indoor Stadium, the celebration, it should have been there because he is worthy of it. And but it was a lot going on, but I was really impressed by how our guys were focused on the game and showing up to compete.
And your guys have been focused on the game all season long. I'm curious, how is North Carolina 24-6 after losing Seth Trimble for the majority of your non-conference schedule and losing Caleb Wilson for the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, I've talked about, I'm just really proud of this group and this team, the toughness, resiliency, the perseverance of this team. And you're right. I mean, the 9 games of Seth, 6 games of Caleb, 2 of Henry. I mean, half of our games this year, we've been without, quote unquote, our top 3 players. And it's really a testament to this team of how guys have stepped up in certain areas where it was, Luka last night, the other night against Clemson, and, Jaren Stevenson, and just guys when their name is called and getting an opportunity to get out there and play, they're stepping on the floor and playing extremely well.
Hubert, I'm going to date myself right here as I am deep now into my 40s. But when I grew up in obviously the suburbs of New York City, I remember you as a key member of the '94 Knicks. And I remember Coach Riley, who you played for, always saying that injury is opportunity. And I remember in that season, I believe John Starks broke his hand in the middle of the year and you had to play. And then you were ready to make some key free throws against the Bulls in the playoffs in a big game at Madison Square Garden. How much do you think your team will be better, even though you didn't want to lose Trimble and Wilson, but because other guys had to get more minutes?
I think we'll be a lot better. One of the things, John, that I always tell the guys is your number is going to be called. You're going to get a chance. You're going to get an opportunity. The one thing that I can't tell you is when, where, how, and the manner in which you're going to get that opportunity. But, and I learned this from Coach Riley, but your job and responsibility is when your number is called, you got to be on point. And our guys have done that. And, with the added time for like Zayden High, that gives us even more depth in the front court. Luka and Jaren, the way that they have stepped up, Kyan Evans, Derek Dixon, the way that they have stepped up, Jonathan Powell. Now we have more options and more depth out there that have been in big time situations and actually produced. And so I really do. I think it makes us a deeper team, a better team. But I'm excited to get everyone back and so that we're all healthy.
What is the earliest we could see Caleb Wilson back in a game?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, now, I've said before, he's got his cast off and he's been doing individual workouts and he hasn't done any 5-on-5 live stuff, but that'll come soon. And so I'm actually having a meeting with Caleb today, and we've got practice today and tomorrow, and we'll just continue to progress. But I like the way that he's getting better, and my hope is that he's back on the floor soon.
If he has a good couple of days of practice, do you think there's a chance we could see him Saturday against Duke?
There's a chance. There is a chance. But obviously nothing anywhere close to definitive right now. My number one concern is Caleb, and I want him 100% healthy and 100% confident to be able to do the things that he can do out there on the court, And what a blessing and what an honor it's been to be able to coach a kid like that this year. He's been off the chart.
And I know you don't want to jeopardize, obviously, his long-term health, but how important is it for you and your staff to attempt to get some rust off him in game action before you obviously play in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I mean, the only way that you can get in the game shape and the game type rhythm is actually play the game. And
Yep.
so, not only has he been out for 6 games, he's been out of practice as well. And so there's things that we've done that he needs to catch up with. And obviously he's, stayed in shape and been in the locker room, but, the only way you can get into basketball shape is actually running up and down the floor. And so there's a number of things that have to happen in order for Caleb to get back out on the floor and be as productive as he has been all year. But we're excited about the progression that he's making. And as I said before, hopefully he's back on the floor for us soon.
And he's not the only freshman, obviously, that's made great progressions.
Yeah.
Derek Dixon has had a very, very big role on this team. When did you and your staff decide that it was obviously imperative to have Derek in the starting lineup?
Yeah, I mean, John, like the starting coming off the bench, that's just not really big to me. I felt like for him, he was worthy of getting extended minutes. He was playing really well for us, did a nice job, has done a nice job getting us into our offense. He takes care of the basketball, and he can really shoot. But this is something that, and you can see where, the big shot, the 3 that he hit against Duke, or the 3 against Clemson earlier this week, he's not, he runs towards the moment. I mean, he's just not affected at all. And it's very impressive to me because I wasn't that way as a freshman. I did not want to be on the floor at all. I was not ready to be out there. And for Derek, he's a guy that in big time situations, he is so calm and confident in those types of situations. And that's why he comes up big.
And he was part of such a memorable comeback, the first game against Duke and Chapel Hill. Now, look, you've been through a lot in basketball. You've played in a Final Four. You've played in the NBA Finals. You went to a national championship game as a head coach. You won a national championship as an assistant. Where does that game, that comeback, that moment when Seth Trimble made that shot and everybody stormed the court rank in terms of your memories and moments in basketball?
Well, obviously, I mean, that's something that I'll remember for the rest of my life, and really haven't had time to kind of think about it and process it because, we had to play Miami on Tuesday, and it was, next game scenario. And I guess the thing, if to think about that game a little bit, the first thing that comes to my mind is Seth.
Yeah.
And how much I want him to be celebrated. I saw something today that I don't know if this statistic is right, but there's only 22 seniors in the Power 5 conferences that had started at a school and stayed at a school their entire career. And I mean, for Seth Trimble to, as accomplished as he is, his commitment to this team, to this program, to this university for 4 years, and for him to get that shot and for him to make it, it was the perfect person for him to shoot it and to make it. And, because of his ability to stay here. And that's the first thing that I think about, John, is I think about Seth, and I'm so happy for him.
Well, let's wrap on this. Obviously, there's going to be another battle with Duke on Saturday at Cameron Indoor Stadium. But beyond getting Caleb Wilson healthy and back to being Caleb Wilson, what are the biggest keys for this North Carolina team over the next 4 or 5 weeks to have a chance to go on another deep run like you did in 2022?
Yeah, I've been clear and definitive with that, John, all year. For us, we have to be a good rebounding team. We just do. I think rebounding is the number one determining factor of an outcome of a game. And, the last time we played Duke, they out-rebounded us plus 12, so we've got to rebound the basketball on both ends of the floor. I'm huge in getting second chance opportunities. No bigger rebound against Clemson was Jaren Stevenson's 10th rebound. He got an offensive rebound, and then we ended up scoring and winning the game. And so rebounding and then defense, we just have to be a good defensive team. I just never seen a team make a deep run and be successful in the NCAA tournament if you don't check those 2 boxes. I think we can score. but can we get stops and can we rebound the basketball consistently? If we can do that, I think we have a chance.
Well, Hubert, congratulations on a great first 30 games. I know you were determined to get North Carolina back among college basketball's elite, and obviously college basketball is always better when the Tar Heels are at the top of the sport. So appreciate a couple minutes, know how busy you are, and as always, look forward to staying connected along the way.
All right, thanks a lot, John. I'll see you around.
You got it. That's North Carolina head coach Hubert Davis. I'm Jon Rothstein, and this is Inside College Basketball Now.